Hmm. Yeah. Like, why take you out? Yeah, there's some problem with the system now. Very mushkil ho rahi. There's something wrong with this. Something wrong.
We can hear you well, we can see you well, uncle.
But the voice is breaking. Can you see me now?
Yes, yes, uncle.
Has Mr. Panda come?
He's just about to come.
Still, I think shareholders are not able to log in.
Let us start. Let us start.
Yes, Dr. Sen, I personally feel that, but Mr. DJ would like Mr. Panda to join as well. So, Mr. Panda will join. Vijay, it is already
Okay,
10:30.
let's start. Let's start. Let's
Okay.
start.
I will say,
I will request others to keep on mute while chairman takes over.
Okay, okay.
So we can start now.
We'll start the meeting.
The 31st annual meeting of Sumedha Fiscal Services. This is 19 September 2020 at 30 a.m. Now I'm going to start the meeting. Myself, DK Set, Company Secretary. Good morning, shareholders. Welcome you to all to the 31st annual general meeting of the shareholders of Sumedha Fiscal Services Limited. Before I hand over to the chairman to start the proceedings of this AGM, I would like to highlight certain points here. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and the Securities and Exchange Board of India, by the respective circulars, have allowed companies to hold the AGM through video conferencing or other audiovisual means during the calendar year 2020. This AGM is accordingly being held through video conference in compliance with the circulars issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and SEBI. Further, as for the said circulars, the requirement of sending physical copies of annual report for the financial year 2019-20 to the shareholders has been dispensed with. Accordingly, the annual reports for the financial year 2019-20 along with the notice of 31st AGM have been sent by electronic means only to all the shareholders whose email IDs were registered with the company registered and share transfer agent or depositories. All the shareholders who have joined this meeting are hereby default being placed by the host on mute mode for conducting the meeting smoothly and seamlessly. Now I would request Mr. R.L. Gaggar, chairman of the company, to chair the meeting and start the proceedings of this meeting. For your information, the e-voting during the AGM has already commenced. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Seth. I welcome you all to the 31st annual general meeting of Sumedha Fiscal Services Limited. Even though, most of you are familiar with the members of our board, nevertheless, I take the opportunity of introducing my colleagues on the board. You can see Dr. Basudeb Sen, Mr. Ramesh Rangal, Mr. Santanu Mukherjee, Mr. Bija Maheshwari, Mr. Prashant Panda. I hope Mr. Panda has come. Mr. Anish Kumar Birla, Mr. B.S. Raki, Mr. Bija Murmuria, and our woman director, Mrs. Garima Maheshwari. In addition to the the members of the board, the key management personnel are Mr. Seth, DK Mr. G.L. Daki, our Chief Financial Officer, and in addition thereto, we have Mr. Sunil Singhi, authorized representative of our statutory auditors, V. Singhi and Associates, and Mr. Atul Kumar Lal, practicing company secretary. Mr. Ashish Kumar Lal, practicing company secretary, has scrutiny here for the AGM. They are all attending and participating in the meeting. Participation of shareholders through video conference is being reckoned for the purpose of quorum and for the circulars issued by MCA and Section 103 of the Company Act 2013. As the requisite quorum is present, I call the meeting in order and request Mr. D.K. Seth, our Company Secretary, to provide the necessary and general instructions to the shareholders regarding participation in the meeting. Mr. Seth, will you take up now? Mr. D.K. Seth. Mr. D.K. Seth.
Please unmute yourself, Mr. Seth.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Facility for joining this AGM through video conference or other audiovisual means is made available for the shareholders on a first-come, first-service basis. The Register of Directors and key managerial personnel, the Register of Contracts and Arrangements have been made available electronically for inspection by the shareholders during the AGM. Some of the shareholders have registered themselves as speaker shareholder for the AGM. Accordingly, the floor will be open for those shareholders to ask questions or express their views once announced by the Honorable Chair. The moderator will facilitate this session once the chairman opens the floor for question and answer. For announcement by the moderator, the particular shareholder will be unmuted. Before speaking, the shareholders are requested to click the webcam button. It may be noted that the company reserves the right to limit the number of members asking questions depending on the availability of time at the AGM. We would further like to request the shareholders to limit their questions or views to 3 minutes. Shareholders can post their views or questions on the Ask a Question tab on their video conference screen during the AGM. In case members face any difficulty, they may reach out on the helpline numbers provided in the notice. Now I would like to request our chairman to continue with the proceedings of the AGM. The chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Seth. The company has taken all possible efforts under the current situation to enable the shareholders to participate in the AGM through video conferencing facility and in providing electronic voting facility during the AGM. I thank all the shareholders, colleagues on the board, auditors, and the management team for joining this meeting over video conferencing. Dear shareholders, I welcome to you to the 31st annual general meeting of your company. We are all aware that the country has been passing through COVID-19 pandemic and its wide-ranging consequences. This is in spite of preventive nationwide initial lockdown, followed by orchestrated need-based funds. Several states and economic stimulus are being applied to restart the economy that had slowed down in response to immediate preference to life instead of livelihood. In the second round, the government has gradually opened up sectors with focus on livelihood. The project Nirbhar Bharat will steadily transform the nation to a very healthy, assertive, and self-reliant India. The company is indeed passing through the consequences of the pandemic and has taken progressive steps towards containing costs and overheads, use of video conferencing facility, moving towards cloud-based platform and other measures. I'm sure the company will emerge as stronger, more focused, and aggressive. Where when we emerge out of the situation, when we emerge out of the situation, the world will be a different place. Companies shall emerge stronger and be resilient to newer products, client acquisitions, and staying true to its purpose and values. Our key area of focus. Investment banking had been and continues to be the focus area of our company as a one-step solution for major value-added corporate services. The services covered include merchant banking, loan syndication, financial restructuring, resolution of stressed assets, merger, amalgamations, placement of securities. Income then from the main was 1185 lakhs in the financial year 2020 as compared to 1131 lakhs during financial year 2019. Considering the change of in the government policy framework and overall risk and rewards attached thereto, your company has decided to close down the portfolio management services and mutual fund products distribution operations in compliance of all regulatory formalities. However, certain human assets employed therein are being redeployed in the company's other segments. The company remains continued to its broader financial services business. Full stop. The company has posted revenues of 73 lakhs during the financial year 2020 as compared to 1809 lakhs for the financial year 2019. Profit before tax was at most of 388 lakhs as against to 551 lakhs. Profit in the previous year and due to losses arising out of collateral security market, whereas PAT was down to 355 lakhs compared to 450 lakhs. The EPS stood at rupees 14.44 in the financial year 2020 compared to 5.20 in the financial year 2019. We are with the green shoots for recovery of the company, economy, and the Reserve Bank initiatives toward providing liquidity support, new products, restructuring scheme. The company is confident of availing the opportunity to consolidate, venture into new opportunities, and move forward. On behalf of the Board of Directors, members of the board, I thank you all for this sustained trust and support. Thank you. Now, gentlemen, notice of the 34th annual general meeting, along with the annual report for the financial year 2019 and 20 has been sent to the shareholders electronically. With your kind permission, do I take them as read? There are no qualifications, observations, or adverse remarks in the statutory auditor's report on the financials of the company for the year 2019-20 and the secretarial auditor's. Therefore, with your kind permission, once again, I take them to have debate. I now take up the resolutions as set forth in the notice of 31st annual general meeting. Number one, adoption of the audited financial statements of the company for the financial year ended March 31, 2020, along with the reports of the Board of Directors and Auditors thereof. Resolution number 2, declaration of dividend of 0.66% per equity share of face value of ₹10 each for the financial year March 31, 2020. Resolution number 3, appointment of Mr. J. Mashwari, who retires by rotation and being eligible has offered himself for reappointment. I now request Mr. Seth, our company secretary, to brief the shareholders regarding the e-voting process.
Thank you, sir.
In compliance with the provisions of the Companies Act 2013 and SEBI listing regulations, the company has provided to all the shareholders holding shares as on the cutoff date of 12th September 2020, either in physical form or in dematerialized form, the facility to exercise their right to vote on resolutions as set forth from item number 1 to item number 3, the notice of the 31st AGM through remote e-voting platform provided by CDSL. The remote e-voting facility was available to the shareholders from 9 a.m. of 16 September 2020 to 5 p.m. of 18 September 2020. Electronic voting facility has been enabled for the members who have not cast their votes through remote e-voting to exercise their voting rights. The e-voting window shall be the members attending the meeting who have not cast their vote by remote e-voting can now exercise their right at the annual general meeting through the electronic voting facility. Shareholders can click on the vote tab on the video conferencing screen to avail this feature. Shareholders may please note that there will be no voting by show of hands. Further, since the meeting is being held through electronic mode, no proposing or seconding of resolutions will be there. The company has appointed Mr. Ashik Kumar Lav, practicing company secretary, to act as scrutinizer for scrutinizing the remote e-voting and e-voting process at the AGM in fair and transparent manner. The results will be declared on or before September 21st, 2020, based on scrutinizer's report after considering the e-voting done today by the members participating in this AGM and also the remote e-voting already done by the shareholders. The result would be published on the company's website and also be uploaded on the website of the stock exchanges of BSE and Calcutta Stock Exchange. May I now request our chairman to continue with the proceedings of the AGM.
Thank you, Mr. Seth. The e-voting window shall now be activated for allowing the shareholders to vote during the AGM. The shareholders are requested to vote by checking on the Insta poll button visible on your screen. Now I open the floor for questions and invite the shareholders for their questions, observations, and suggestions. May I request moderators to unmute the speaker shareholders one by one. Mr. Moderator.
Mr. Ramkumar Kakani is not joining us yet. Mr. Chandrapati Gatani not joined yet. Mr. Gautam Nandi joined. Please unmute Mr. Gautam Nandi.
Am I audible, sir? Sir,
Right.
am I audible?
Right, you are audible.
And visible, sir? Am I audible and visible, sir?
Yeah, you are audible. Please continue.
And not visible, sir?
Mr. Please.
You are not visible.
May I-
Yeah, but
Yes.
you are audible. Please continue.
Thank you, sir. Sir, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Please continue.
Board of Directors, fellow shareholders, Gautam Nandi, very old equity shareholder of Sumedha Fiscal Services Limited. Sir, firstly, I like to give thanks to your secretarial department for sending me annual report and other necessary relevant papers through email well in advance. Especially thanks to our respected company secretary, Mr. Dev Kumar, a dynamic person, his assistant, Mr. Ashish Mukherjee, very sober and well-behaved person, for rendering very good services to our minority shareholders. So thank you again, sir. Sir, you are organizing your AGM through video conference for the first time, and I find it is a grand success. Sir, सांस बोले तो एक सांस मैंने बात बोलूं आज आज बोलने का मन ही कर नहीं रहा है क्योंकि ये कोविड-19 ये हम लोग का बहुत कुछ ले लिया सर, बहुत कुछ ले लिया सर। आज यही कोविड-19 के कारण से कितना बड़े छोटे कंपनी बंद हो गया, कितना आदमी का नौकरी चला गया। But we are glad to see that our company still trying their best even in this pandemic situation. Sir, I am very proud to be a shareholder of your company, and I am very hopeful towards the prospect. I have full trust with our strong management. Sir, today nothing to say more. Looking forward with a positive outlook towards our company with higher profit margin and return. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Nandi. These are very encouraging words.
Mr. Ashit Kumar Pathak is not joined yet. Shamsundar Bhattacharya not joined yet. Keshav Garg, please unmute Keshav Garg.
I think Mr. Garg has asked 2-3 questions, which is there on the chat, and he has sent before also. So I will try to answer all the 3 questions. So his first question was, what is the other advance? We have advances of 3.78 crores, which constitutes of about 1.6 crores deposited with exchanges. As you all are aware that our we have surrendered our licenses of broking last year. So there is a process to refund of deposits. While a major amount has come back, about 1.6 crores will again come back in next about 1.5 to 2 years. So there is a process which runs to almost 3 years, and this amount will come back in next 1.5 to 2 years. Then there is about 2.6 crores which was paid as margin to stockbroker based on the exposure and other things, which has consequently come back. So this is as far as advances goes. Then he had a question about, since our market capitalization is 1/3 of the net worth and there is enough cash and cash equivalent, why not we look at buyback in current market condition? Herein I would like to state that while we have closed down our broking arm and PMS arm, more so considering the risk reward profile, the company is looking for other avenues, and those avenues basically belongs to the sector where we are more prominent and visible. So the company is getting, like as you are aware, the company has got active through its associate company into IBC, insolvency. Similarly, we are toying with the idea of whether we can launch an alternative investment fund, a stress fund, or and are aggressively pursuing the path of servicing professional services for merger, acquisition, and private equity. So, considering all these nature, we are retaining cash for time to come so that all the shareholders and owners of the company would have larger gains in time to come considering the market conditions. One more question he had asked is why our investment banking income is flat since last 10 years. You see, though the investment banking income remains about flat in last 10 years, but the breakups have changed. You see, markets have been very volatile, and at times we would be gaining more through loan restructuring than loan syndication or through advisory services. Like in current market, there is least chance that a new project would come up, but it paves way for restructuring. So while we are conscious of the fact that our investment banking income remains flat, but we are also trying new areas as I suggested, going aggressive into merger, acquisition, private equity, which will open new doors for us. I think the same question was asked by one of the shareholder who is not present right now, Mr. Ram Kumar Kakani, who wanted to understand about company's future plans. So I have put it across here as well. So I believe this answers the questions put forth by Mr. Keshav Garg. Thank you.
Now please unmute Mr. Bimal Krishna Sarkar. Please unmute Jaideep Bhakti.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Bimal Sarkar is there. Okay.
हाँ सर सर लिंक नहीं दे रहा है आपका वीडियो लिंक नहीं दे रहा है हेलो हेलो हेलो
You are audible. Please continue with the video.
हेलो सुनाई दे रहा है क्या साहब
हाँ सुनाई दे रहा है आप कंटिन्यू करिए सरकार साहब
अच्छा ओके ओके हाँ माननीय सभापति और पदाधिकारी बिंदु शेयर होल्डर्स उपस्थित सर अभी ये आपको जो इनकम पिछले साल से इस बार भी एक सेम ही रहा মানে একই আছে আর কি আগের বছর যেটা হয়েছিল এই বছরও সেটা আছে আমার এটা খুব ভালো লাগছে যে যে এই রকম পরিস্থিতিতে যে প্যান্ডেমিক পরিস্থিতিতে কোভিড-19 যে हमारा ইনকাম সেম रहा সেম একই আছে এটা আমার খুব ভালো লাগলো দেখে হ্যাঁ কিন্তু আপনার নেট প্রফিটটা কিছুটা বেশ কমে গেছে স্যার স্যার আমাদের যে ডিভিডেন্ডটা দেওয়া হয়েছে সেই ডিভিডেন্ডটা 0.60 পয়সা পার শেয়ার মানে এটা বহুতই কম স্যার এই ব্যাপারটা একটু দেখবেন যাতে ডিভিডেন্ডটা নেক্সট ইয়ার এটাকে বাড়ানো যায় হ্যাঁ আমরা তো আর আমি বেশি কিছু বলবো না তবে সবাইকে এই পরিস্থিতিতে আমাদের ভিডিও কনফারেন্স করতে আমরা বাধ্য হয়েছি যাতে এই পরিস্থিতিতে এই জন্য এই প্রথম আমরা ভিডিও কনফারেন্সে অ্যাটেন্ড করছি এবং আপনাদের সবাইকে সুস্থ থাকবেন সাবধান থাকবেন হ্যাঁ এইটা বলে আমার বক্তব্য শেষ করলাম ধন্যবাদ
Okay. Please unmute Jaideep Bhakti. Next speaker, please unmute Jaideep Bhakti.
Company Secretary Mr. Devati said to express my and also to Mr. Ashish Mukherjee for maintaining a cordial relation with our shareholders. So our company is passing through a tough time with this economic situation is on the downslide. So what are the cost curtailment measures we are taking to negotiate the situation? I support all the resolutions, nothing to add more. I will request the management to think about regarding the minority every year. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next speaker, please unmute. Bharti Saraf. Bharti sir.
বাড়াও না এখান থেকে।
Please unmute Bharti Saraf.
सर आवाज आ रही है क्या? सर आवाज आ रही है मेरी? आवाज आ रही है सर? हाँ जी नमस्कार। माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, उपस्थित निवेश सदस्यगण और मेरे शेयर होल्डर भाई बहनों, जो आज हम लोग वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस थ्रू के प्रेजेंट है, आप सभी को मेरा नमस्कार। रतनलाल जी, आपको विशेष नमस्कार। काफी देर पहले एक दो मीटिंग में आपका नाम था, लेकिन आपकी पिक्चर नहीं आ रही थी। आज आपकी पिक्चर आ रही है, तो आपको मेरा नमस्कार सर, एक बार फिर से। है कि नहीं है? उनका अभी छवि दिखाई नहीं दे रही। तो चेयरमैन के रूप में भाषण दिया था, उनका दिखाई दे दिया था मेरे को, और मैंने उनके दर्शन भी कर लिए, तो उनको स्वस्थ देखा था सर। और मैं जो है ना वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस के कारण अटेंड कर सक रहा हूँ, अदरवाइज आपके जो 15 नंबर में मीटिंग होती है मैं कभी अटेंड नहीं कर सकता। मालूम भी मुझे मालूम है, कभी मुश्किल से कोई एक आध मीटिंग अटेंड करता हूँ। तो मैं सोचता ये वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस, सबसे पहले तो सर आप सबके स्वास्थ्य की अच्छी कामना करता हूँ, जितने स्टाफ उनके स्वास्थ्य की कामना करता हूँ, जितने अपने क्लाइंट है उनके स्वास्थ्य की कामना करता हूँ, उनके साथ उनके परिवार के स्वास्थ्य की भी कामना करता हूँ। आशा करता हूँ, भगवान से प्रार्थना भी करता हूँ सर, सबको स्वस्थ रखे और स्वस्थ होंगे सर। इसके अलावा सर डिविडेंड के लिए आपको धन्यवाद दूंगा कि इस टफ टाइम में जब लोग डिविडेंड नहीं दे रहे हैं, आपने 60% डिविडेंड दिया, ये हम लोग के लिए काफी फायदेमंद है सर। और आप नहीं भी देते तो हम भी उसके भी धन्यवाद देते, क्योंकि अभी केस की प्रॉब्लम जो है, अपना केस चाहिए, फ्यूचर में केस की प्रॉब्लम आ सकती है, क्योंकि अभी कोविड का सीजन मार्च से तो मेरे को लगता चलेगा ही सर। अब यही सर दूसरी बात, ये वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस की मीटिंग में समझता हूँ बहुत अच्छी है सर। क्या देखिए, विजय बाबू अपने चैम्बर से बात कर रहे हैं, राज गंगन जी अपने घर से बात कर रहे हैं, उनकी उम्र हो गई है, नहीं तो उनको दौड़ के आना पड़ता है मीटिंग के अंदर, बहुत बरसात होती तो और भी हालत खराब हो जाती सर। इसके अलावा सर खर्चा कितना कमती लग रहा है अपना, है बहुत खर्चा कम लग रहा है, न तो बैलेंस शीट छपानी पड़ रही है, न अपने को नोटिस करनी पड़ रही है, न अपने को वहां पर भेजने पर कोई अरेंजमेंट करना पड़ रहा है, सब बचत ही बचत का काम है सर। किसी सेक्रेटरी ने मेरे को कहा था सर कि जब हम वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस मीटिंग कर रहा है तो मेरे को इतना फायदा है, फिजिकल मीटिंग करते तो लगता है घर में कोई उत्सव हो गया, जिसके कारण सुबह से लग जाते थे, वो आने वाले उनकी खातिरदारी के लिए खातिर पूरा दिन उसी में जाता है, और फिर लास्ट में कहते खातिरदारी ठीक से नहीं हुई है। तो ये सर मैं समझता हूँ कि आप कंटिन्यूस रखिए वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस मीटिंग, आराम है। लेकिन एक रिक्वेस्ट आपसे जरूर है सर कि हम लोग जब रजिस्ट्रेशन करवाते हैं ना, तो हम लोग कंफर्मेशन भेज दिया करिए, अदरवाइज हम लोग सस्पेंस में रहते हैं कि रजिस्ट्रेशन हुआ कि नहीं हुआ। और एक क्यू नंबर जरूर भेज दीजिए। देखिए अभी 2-3 शेयर होल्डर आपके यहाँ अटेंड नहीं किया, आशीष पाठक है, गटानी, इसका रीजन नहीं है कि उनको मालूम ही नहीं कि आपको इस तरह से अटेंड करना। मैंने एक मौका खोज दिया कि चलो करते हैं, मिले तो ठीक है, नहीं मिले तो, क्योंकि गगन जी थे, उनका दर्शन करना मेरे लिए जरूरी था इस साल के लिए, क्योंकि दोबारा दूसरी मीटिंग होगा नहीं होगा सर। और मैं अपना वक्तव्य समाप्त करता हूँ, आपसे प्रार्थना करता हूँ कि आप लोग सब स्वस्थ होंगे। नमस्कार, जय हिंद, जय भारत। फिर सर अगले साल मिलते हैं, वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस मीटिंग रखिएगा, बहुत खर्च कम है, बहुत आराम है सर। हमारे कल की बात है, मेरे ओएनजीसी के सेक्रेटरी ने कहा था कि हम लोग ओएनजी हेडक्वार्टर में बैठ के मंगलोर की एमआरपी की मीटिंग अटेंड करने, पूरा ट्रेवलिंग रिस्क नहीं है, ट्रेवलिंग एक्सपेंसेस नहीं है, मीटिंग में जाने का हेडेक नहीं है। कोविड का कारण कोई भी चीज है तो घर में कोई काम है तभी हम 1 घंटा समय निकाल के मीटिंग अटेंड कर सकते हैं, अदरवाइज पूरा दिन खत्म हो जाता है सर। तो हाथ जोड़ के प्रार्थना है कि वीडियो को अपने मीटिंग करिए सर, फिजिकल मीटिंग को बात दे दीजिए सर। और इसमें हेडेक भी शेयर होल्डर संभालते आप लोग है ना, हमारे सेक्रेटरी सब पागल हो जाते हैं। जय श्री राम, जय हिंद, जय भारत। और गगर जी एक बार मेरा नमस्कार ले लीजिएगा, सब पिक्चर आ रही है तो गगर जी फोटो दिखाई नहीं दे रहा, उनको बोलिएगा एक बार फिर से मैं उनको नमस्कार कर रहा हूँ। धन्यवाद सर समय देने के लिए।
Please unmute Amit Kumar Banerjee. Next speaker, please unmute Amit Kumar Banerjee.
You for giving me an opportunity to speak such a nice occasion organized by our company Limited. So I'm not visible or audible.
Yes, you are audible. You're audible, visible
Not
and
visi-
audible.
Visible
but
and audible.
not okay, sir. Physical and audio. Yeah. Sir, as performance is concerned, it appears during this year our company couldn't make much better performance. Total revenue achieved during this year around 18 crores, but company made a net loss against profit last year. So what is the key reason? Please share without vision and plan to achieve good profitability, including operation for upcoming next 2 years. It is good. Our company with a tune around 6%, 60 paisa per equity share in spite our company's performance and as well as some situations COVID-19. Sir, is there any plan to increase your promoters holding? It appears that 49.57% you are making the holding of this company. Today's price is around 19 rupees. So what's your views about the share price is concerned? I hope our company will grow up with this management and will present better result next year also, keeping in mind, yes, shareholders rewarding policy. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Amit Kumar Banerjee. Over to you for further proceedings.
Well, I would like to give, I think, clarification on some of the points raised by the learned shareholders. We definitely take the positive words of Mr. Gautam Nandi into perspective. Then Mr. Sarkar pointed out about the negative net profit and dividend. Negative net profit was basically, as you all are aware, that till December we were performing well. But in the fourth quarter, last quarter, January to March, the capital market abruptly fallen by about 40% or so. And that made substantial losses both on our inventory and derivatives. So that led to an overall loss. And consequently, there was a loss in the balance sheet. That some portion has been offsetted, as you must have been seen, that in June we have done well despite the limitations given by COVID. So our June results are out, and so that gives you an indication that the company has come back with profits, and it was one of the quarters where because of the meltdown of the markets, the company had to go into losses. But we continued to pay dividend as we have been a constantly regular dividend paying company. So the company continued to pay dividend out of its reserves and surplus retained profits so that it rewards all our stakeholders. The company has taken cost curtailment measures while during the COVID period, and due to that combination, you are seeing that in June, our revenues though have been slightly down, but based on the cost, overall profits are quite good. Again, I would for the kind words and positivity shown by Mr. Saraf, we are indeed gratitude towards him. Mr. Amit Kumar Banerjee wanted to understand the key reason of loss, which I have stated. We have no intent to increase the promoters' holding at the moment because we have enough cash to pursue new businesses, and I have already put forth a glimpse of our business plan. Share price is a fundamental of the market movements. We have no control over it, but we only can predict that we will try to do well and leave the market prices to the fundamentals and the operations, how market works. We can commit ourselves to working well in future. Mr. Dheeraj Loya in the question answer chat box has asked about our associate company, that is Sumedha Management Solutions. It is a insolvency professional entity where we do most of the IBC work. As you are maybe aware that under IBC, for an insolvency professional entity, you have a separate company to be done, and majority shareholders have to be the IP themselves. So whatever is in associate stake, we cannot increase beyond a particular point since majority has to be IP individuals. The company is conscious of that fact, and it is a Sumedha group company. So we will do all well, and in coming times also we hope to continue to do well. So with this, I hand over to Mr. Seth and Chairman. Thank you very much.
Chairman, sir. Chairman, sir.
Can you hear me, Mr. Seth?
Sir, your concluding part only.
I can't hear you.
Sir, your concluding part of the speech.
I'm on the concluding part.
Sir.
You are I'm doing your job. I'm doing your job.
Okay, sir. Let me take over.
You continue. Take over.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take over.
Thank you, sir. Shareholders may note that the e-voting will end after 15 minutes from the conclusion of this meeting. Shareholders who have not cast their vote yet are requested to do so. Further, the Company Secretary is authorized to declare the voting results and upload the results on the websites of the stock exchanges and publish on the company website within 48 hours from the end of this meeting. The resolutions for items under consideration as set forth in the notice shall be deemed to be passed today, subject to receipt of requisite number of votes. I thank all the shareholders for participating in this AGM. I also thank all the board members and auditors for their participation. I now request all the board members and auditors to log off from the meeting. I now hereby declare the proceedings of this AGM as closed. Thank you.
Thank you.